Unfortunately, for a lot of young people, cyberbullying is part of their world, and that can be tough for them, and it can also be really tough for families. So here to talk more about cyberbullying is Sean from NetSafe. Sean, is this something that you guys are having to deal with often?
Unfortunately, yeah. We know that 1 in 5 young people on any given year will experience some form of cyberbullying, and we also know that of all the challenges that they face online, that's probably the one that's most likely to cause some kind of emotional harm. Traditional advice, common sense advice says for young people, if you're experiencing this kind of issue, then you need to go and find yourself a trusted adult and talk to them. But the research will also tell us that in half the cases where they do talk to an older person, things actually get worse. And that's not because they, malicious intent by those parents or teachers. That's because they don't know what it is they should do. So it's the responsibility of any of those adults that might find themselves in that position to make sure they know exactly what it is they should do.
If I was worried about my young person, what would be some of the signs I should be looking for?
The general signs of young people that are experiencing emotional harm are often about withdrawal. So young people who used to participate in activities and suddenly don't want to do that anymore is a good indication. Or maybe there'll be issues and concerns around friendship groups. So suddenly they talk about lack of friends, or perhaps they just don't participate in groups that they used to be fairly involved in previously.
And how do you see parents responding when they discover that the young people are being bullied?
I think the natural reaction is to think that it's a device or something that's caused the harm, then we should take that device away from them. I think that's a dangerous thing to do often. We might be isolating them from the problem as we see it, but we know from the way that young people use the technology, we're probably also largely isolating them from their own support networks, from their peers and the people that can provide the most likely and sometimes the most practical help.
So what's your advice to parents who are dealing with cyberbullying?
I think the important thing for adults to make sure that they do is have conversations with young people really early on. Talking about cyberbullying when the situation's acute for young people can often be difficult. So why not take the time right now to talk to young people about what they would do if they experience cyberbullying? Do they know anybody else who has experienced it? And if they do, what did they do? How could they help?
Well, thank you so much, Sean. That's really practical advice, and I'm sure that'll be really useful to a lot of parents. If this is something that you're having to deal with at the moment in your family, then there is a lot of support available to you and a lot of resources, so head to the links below.